Hello everyone. Today we will study about multi-path propagation model for a wireless system. In wireless communication system, we transmit our input signal or a brief signal symbol through a wireless channel and then we expect an output at the receiver end. So the scenario is like we transmit a symbol xt in time domain and it is transmitted through a wireless channel and then we get an output suppose as YT. This is your wireless channel, and due to this wireless channel, you have here a component which is denoted as H of T, and this H of T is called as impulse response of the system. Impulse response of system, and this YT represents your output signal, and XT is your input signal. And now, when we see this kind of model, when the signal is being transmitted using a wireless channel, then there are some external factors, and because of those external factors, there is some degradation in the performance of the system. And this impulse response is the response of your system, or you can say this impulse response function is the response of the communication system with respect to the external factors. And what are those external factors? They can be the delay factors, they can be the factors which are responsible for the attenuation of the signal. So each path in the wireless system is characterized by two main factors, and these two main factors are: number one is your delay, and the second one is attenuation. And for any ith path, in a wireless environment, that will be characterized by tau I, and attenuation will be represented by AI. Okay. So now, with respect to signals, the delay is represented as delta t minus tau I, and here this delta is your direct delta function, or you can say it is your impulse shifted by tau I. So now for a system that attenuates the signal by AI, the signal by AI, and delays the signal by tau I, we can represent that system as A of I into delta t minus tau I. So for a system that attenuates the signal by AI and delays the signal by tau I, we can represent that system with this equation or with this expression, that is ai dot delta into t minus tau I. Okay. And now for a multipath scenario, for example, we have n number of paths starting from 0 to n minus 1. So for 0th path, we have attenuation as a0 and delay as tau 0. And for a channel model which is going to represent this path, we have the expression as a naught dot delta t minus tau 0. And for first path, we have attenuation as a1 and delay as tau 1, and the channel model will be given as a1 dot delta t minus tau 1, and so on. For n number of paths, we have n minus 1th path, and where attenuation will be represented as a of n minus 1 and tau n minus 1, and channel model will be represented as a n minus 1 dot delta t minus tau n minus 1. It is very simple to understand. We have multipath scenario, and for n number of different paths, we have different attenuation representation and also the delay representation. And for a multipath channel response, we will get the sum of all these individual responses. So for multipath channel response, that will be taken as sum of individual responses. And this multipath channel response, that is represented as ht, your impulse response function. It is given as a naught into delta t minus tau 0, that is the channel model for first path, plus a1 into delta t minus tau 1 plus so on up to a n minus 1 into delta t minus tau n minus 1. Okay, and we can write this equation as summation I equal to 0 to n minus 1 into a of I into delta t minus tau I. This is your ht, and this equation represents your impulse response of channel for multipath scenario, and also it shows how we can model a wireless channel. And now we have to take the example of a transmitted signal. So now the transmitted signal, for example, we have the transmitted signal that is represented as SPT in time domain equals to real part of the complex baseband signal, which is your ST times e raised to power j2 pi fct. So here this is your passband signal, and this component represents your complex baseband signal, and this complex baseband signal, it is modulated up to a carrier frequency for transmission, and here this fc component is your carrier frequency, and this whole component from this to this, it represents your modulation with carrier frequency. Okay, and now this is your passband signal, and basically the passband signal is the range of frequencies that are passed through the band pass filter in the receiver end. And here you have complex baseband signal that is represented by st, which is taken up to a carrier frequency for its transmission, and this whole component is representing the modulation with carrier frequency. Okay, this is the real part of your transmitted signal. And when the communication signal SPT, that is your passband signal, is transmitted across the multipath, then you will have different path scenarios. And here, one thing I want to tell you that this carrier frequency, it varies from different region to different region, and but some standard notations for this carrier frequency are this FC equals to 900 megahertz for GSM technology. I will say that approximately equal to 900. And for 3G systems, this will have a value of 2.1 gigahertz of frequency band. And for LTER 4G systems, this carrier frequency can have a frequency band of 2.5 gigahertz. Okay, but from different countries or from different regions, it varies accordingly. These are some standard notations for carrier frequency. And now, when this is transmitted across multipath communication channels, this passband signal, it will have different representation. Like for zeroth path, where we have attenuation as a0 and delay is represented as tau 0, the signal will be represented as real part of a0 s of t minus tau naught, because we have to give a shift to the time with the delay factor, and that is multiplied by e raised to power j2 pi fc into t minus tau naught. This is basically the same equation that we have written here, that is spt equal to real part of st into e raised to power j2 pi fc t. But now we are examining this same equation, this same transmitted signal for multipath scenario. So for zeroth path, wherever we have written this t, we have to insert the delay that is represented as t minus tau 0, and here again t minus tau 0, and also the attenuation is represented by a 0 for zeroth path. And for first path, where attenuation is given as a1 and delay is given as tau 1, so here we have the signal representation as real part of a1 into s of t minus tau 1 into e raised to power j2 pi fc t minus tau 1. Okay, and so on when we go up to nth part, n minus 1th path, where attenuation is represented as a n minus 1 and delay is represented as tau n minus 1. The received signal is represented as real part a n minus 1 into s of t minus tau n minus 1 into e raised to power j 2 pi fc t minus tau n minus 1. So this whole from this place to this place, this represents the multipath signal components. So this is your multipath signal components. Okay. Therefore, therefore, the received passband signal is equal to sum of various multipath components. And for example, the received passband signal, it is represented as ypt, that is equal to summation I equal to 0 to n minus 1 real part of ai dot s into t minus tau I into e raised to power j 2 pi fc t minus tau I. This represents the received passband signal, that is equal to the sum of various components, and we can further rewrite this equation as summation I equal to 0 to n minus 1. Then we have real part times ai dot s t minus tau I into e raised to power minus j 2 pi fc into tau I. So first we multiplied this tau I with this entity, and we take out the other entity, that is represented as e raised to power j 2 pi fc into t. So in this scenario, when we see that here bases are same and then their powers are added, and when we apply that formula, we will get back this entity. Okay, so now further we can rearrange the above equation as re, that is real part, into summation I equals to 0 to n minus 1 a of I into s t minus tau I into e raised to power minus j 2 pi fc into tau I into e raised to power j 2 pi fc into t. So in this equation, this component, which is from here to here, represents the complex baseband signal. This is your complex baseband signal that is received at the receiver end, and this is your carrier component, or you can say the modulation by a carrier frequency. Okay, so further we can write this equation as yt equals to summation I equals to 0 n minus 1 ai into s t minus tau I into e raised to power minus j 2 pi fc into tau I. And this equation, you have yt or ypt is your complex baseband received signal, complex baseband received signal, and this one represents your complex phase vector. And now for narrowband assumptions, if we assume that there is narrowband for the transmitted signal, then this s of t minus tau I quantity is approximately becomes equal to s of t. And for this assumption, we say that when we have narrowband for the transmitted signal, in that case fm is less than equal to f of c, that is the maximum frequency is far less than the carrier frequency. Okay, and for example, in gsm based system, we have maximum frequency that is approximately equal to 200 kilohertz, and the carrier frequency fc is equal to 900 megahertz. So here the maximum frequency is far less than the carrier frequency. So in that case, we can say that there is a narrow band for the transmitted signal. So if we assume that there is a narrow band for the transmitted signal, in that case, y of t will be given as summation I equal to 0 to n minus 1 a of I into s t into e raised to power minus j 2 pi fc into tau I. Okay, this is the equation when we have narrow band, when we assume that the transmitted signal has narrow band, and in that case the component, that is st minus tau I, will become approximately equal to s of t, and then this is represented by this equation yt equal to summation I equal to 0 to n minus 1 ai into st into e raised to power minus j2 by fc tau I. Further, from this equation, we can write as yt equals to summation I equal to 0 to n minus 1 into ai into e raised to power minus j2 pi fc tau I into st. We have rearranged the previous equation, and here this complete factor, this represents your complex coefficient, and it is represented by h. Therefore we can write as yt equal to h, that is your complex coefficient, into st, that is the original passband signal transmitted, and here this h represents the entity as summation I equal to 0 to n minus 1 ai into e raised to power minus j2 pi fc into tau I. So this is the complex coefficient represented by this equation, and this h is basically dependent on channel attenuation and delays of different multipath components. So it depends upon channel attenuation and delays from different multipath components. Okay, and now for this equation, for example, if we consider that we have only two paths, and for example if we have only two paths, then in that case we will have the value of n equal to 2, then h will be equal to summation I equal to 0 to 1, because we have only two paths here, and a of I into e raised to power minus j2 pi fc into tau I, and we can split the equation as a0 into e raised to power minus j2 pi fc into tau 0 plus a1 into e raised to power minus j2 pi fc into tau 1, and this is basically a multi-path scenario or a two-path components. So here I can write it as two path components, and from this equation, if we consider or if we assume that a0 equals to a1 equals to 1 and tau naught equals to 0 and tau 1 equal to 1 upon 2 fc. If we substitute these values in the above equation, that is in this equation, then we will get this h equal to 1 into e raised to power 0, because when we substitute this tau 0 as 0 here, so we are going to get 1 into e raised to power 0 plus 1 into e raised to power minus j2 pi fc into 1 upon 2 fc, and this will become equal to 1 plus 1 into e raised to power minus j pi. And when we see that here we have this equal amplitudes but in opposite phases, so we can write it as 1 plus minus 1, and this will become equal to 0. So basically these components are cancelling each other, and we will have, therefore we will have yt equal to h into st, but h is 0 in this case, so 0 into st, that will be equal to 0. So this is called your destructive interference. So what we did here, we took a case of two path scenario, and in this two path scenario we have done some assumptions, we have done these substitutions in this equation, and after solving the equation, what we get, the yt, that is the received signal at the receiver end, that becomes equal to 0, and this happens, or this kind of situation is called as a destructive interference. And because of this interference, the interference that arises in this scenario, in the scenario of two path components, it has cancelled the effect of each other, of both the components, and then we say this kind of scenario as the destructive interference. And now let me label this equation as equation 1. And suppose in the same equation, in the equation 1, if a0 equal to a1 equal to 1 and tau 0 equal to 0 and tau 1 equal to 1 upon fc, instead of 2fc, 1 upon fc, then the value of h, the complex coefficient, will become equal to 1 into e raised to power 0 plus 1 into e raised to power minus j 2 pi fc into 1 upon fc, and we will get 1 plus 1 into e raised to power j 2 pi, and this is equal to 1 plus 1, that is equal to 2. And this kind of situation is called as, or it represents, your constructive interference. And here what we see, that we have enhanced signal amplitude. Okay, so we can write here yt equal to h into st, and further by substituting this value we will get twice of st. So this is the enhanced signal amplitude, and it is termed as constructive interference. So the coefficient h varies depending upon the various channel attenuation factors, that is ai and ti's, that is your attenuation for different paths and delays for different paths in a multipath scenario. So this is about the modeling of a uh, model, or you can say the propagation model for a multipath scenario in wireless systems. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you for watching.